Welcome to Manassas, Virginia, where I'm here to pick up a TBM Tampico. Right now they're bringing the plane out from the hangar. It's going to be tugged up here pretty shortly. Until then, we're going to go over the maintenance logs. Before we pick up an airplane, I go over all the logs to make sure the airplanes had all of its inspections and just to get a basic history of the aircraft. Ready to look at some words? I am. That was so cheesy. I'm going to keep that part in. All right, we're going to start now looking at the aircraft logbook here. Any maintenance items pertaining to the actual airframe of the airplane, we're going to take a look at. Starting from the back, because you want to see the most recent entries first. I can see here already that on September 3rd, 2013, the aircraft had its transponder and altitude reporting systems tested. So the transponder works and the altimeter works. However, but because there is no sign up for the pitot-static system, I won't be able to fly the Tampico under IFR conditions. That'll have to come later, so I'm limited to VFR only. Moving back here, I got a prop entry. I see that here was on the 11th of September, performed a 100-hour propeller inspection, which is great. And I can see here also on the 11th of September that they did an annual inspection with the aircraft. And of course they list all the little nitty-gritties of it, but the aircraft is with an annual. So according to all this, the aircraft is airworthy to fly. I'll check the engine logs in a second. More airframe entries. Let's see. This is back in 2000 in February, and just they did some normal maintenance on it. And you want to go back a couple pages just to get a little bit history on the aircraft. They changed the Hobbs meter. They had a little brake issue that they fixed, and you can just go over. You know, this is the annual from the year prior, which they did a lot of repairs on. So again, just so you can get a general familiarization with an aircraft, because you're flying, as you ferry an aircraft, you're flying an aircraft that you don't know. So this kind of gives you a general history as to what's happened with this plane. Going to the engine logbook, you want to see if there's any, major concerns here, really. I can see that the engine has 604 hours since major overhaul, which is a good thing. You don't want to fly an aircraft that's past its recommended overhaul times. On September 11th, they did an equivalent of a 100-hour inspection. With they had pretty good compressions. They drained, they put in new engine oil. They changed the filter. Also, what this does is it tells me what kind of oil is in the engine, so I know that when I make a stop, I can tell what kind of engine I have, what kind of oil I have to put in the engine. They changed the spark plugs. They ran it, and everything was great. All the ADs have been checked and are complied with. So this aircraft, barring instrument conditions, looks like it's pretty solid and pretty safe to fly. We're going to start with our lovely checklist. People ask me, how do I know how to pre-flight or check these planes? I generally do, but each aircraft I work with this checklist, so I make sure I don't miss anything, because I fly so many different kinds of airplanes. I ferry so many different kinds of airplanes per year. Always use a checklist. So we're going to go with the exterior here, and they don't have a lot of the exterior. I guess most exterior checks are the same. Initial stops, weather, weight and balance done, performance requirements done, flight plan. We're going to file paperwork, airworthiness registration, weight and balance, POH already in the aircraft. Check that already. And we're going to start with the inside here. It says control lock, remove, master switch, flaps extend, pitot heat test, stall and test. So you can move here. I'll walk around and we'll meet back inside the plane. Okay, welcome into our Tampico. It says here control lock removed. Well, frankly, there is no control lock installed right now, so nothing needs to be removed. Main switch on. When it says main switch, we're going to assume that is the master battery switch, and if I had to guess, it's over here. Main switch right there is on. Flaps extend, flaps control. Watch your feet, because your cameraman's standing by up near the flaps. Flaps go down. Okay, very good. Pitot heat we're going to test. We'll test that in a second, because I don't want to go running out now and everything. But pretty much what you do is you turn on the pitot heat and then you go and feel that it's actually warming up. Stall indicator test. Give me a second, stay right there. Heard the beep. Stall works. Stall horn works. Lights test. So we're going to put on our strobe, and we're going to make sure that the strobe is actually strobing. Hold on. Strobe is strobing. Flash, flash. After that, fuel gauges are true. We just topped off the aircraft. Where's my fuel gauges? Where are my fuel gauges at in this airplane? There's my RPM, there's the tach. There's this. See, in the Ferry, there's a lot of this stuff of initially finding everything. Here everything is, of course. Should have thought about that. Fuel gauges are initiating full. Very good. And main switch off. Main switch. Generally, all exterior pre-flights are similar. I'm not going to say they're all the same, but they're very similar. I like to start them at the nose of the aircraft. I like to take a general look around, see if there's anything in the path of my taxi out, anything I could pick up with the propeller. After that, I'll approach the aircraft. I'm going to come up here. This aircraft has a brand new, fully overhauled propeller, but still run your fingers across the tips to try to find any nicks, cracks, dents. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me from this far away, but nicks, cracks, and dents on the prop. Check inside the cowling, make sure there's no obstructions, make sure no animals have made a home there. No animals have made a home there for the night. They like to do that. Take a look at the nose wheel. Take a look at your oleo strut. Make sure there's some good distance there. General rule of thumb is 4 knuckles width of distance. And make sure that it actually compresses and stops the nose from coming to the ground as well. Moving along the side now. A couple of NACA vents here for air intake for various items. Moving now along towards the wing. Check on the bottom of the wing here. Come on down, get down and dirty with me, come on. Don't be shy. Again, checking down here, checking the wing, making sure it's inflated. Try to yell over the sound of the jet that's departing. The antenna looks like it's struck to the sound. Here we got a sump for fuel. Got a little sump cup. Check it. Nav gas is out. And we're going to check to make sure that it is a clear bluish liquid. No water bubbles, no dirt in here. Alright. Again, checking the general all wellness of the aircraft. Come around here, we have the pitot tube of the aircraft. Down here, want to make sure that it's not obstructed on either end. There should be a drain tube in the back. There's the drain tube, very good. Looks fine to me. Stall horn, warning, we checked that already. Coming up here, inspection of the fuel. Want to make sure that it actually matches. And you can see here it is topped off with fuel, which is great. Now if you are fueling this aircraft, you can see here it says ground. This is where you would connect the ground wire. General wellness of the leading edge of the wing. Want to make sure no dents, no cracks, no holes. Coming up over here, you got the 2 landing lights, landing light, taxi light. Red nav light, which we'll check from night flying. I'm not going to check that now because I'm not doing a night flight right now. On the side, we're going to check here ailerons. You want to check freedom of movement, that they go up and down, which is lovely. Come around the bottom, make sure it looks well to you. Try to get your head up in here. There's a little crack right here. Just want to get a view and try to see if anything there might be obstructing. Again, remember, this is very detailed, but you've never flown this aircraft before and you don't know who flew it before you and what. So you want to make sure that everything is checked. Flaps. We extend the flaps. Make sure that there's some play, but they don't give. Again, try to get in here, take a look into the cracks, try to find the hinges. Try to see if everything here is connected properly. And it looks like it is. Okay, we're going to move on. Moving on now to the side of the fuselage. Make sure that this is closed and locked, not going to open on me during flight. General wellness of the fuselage. This is static port. Make sure it's not obstructed. Over here we got the stabilator. I love the stabilator on these airplanes. I love the fact that it's really just behind everything else. It's very unique design to the Tampicos and the Trinidads and all the Cicadas. Move it up, move it down. You want to make sure that the stab trim.
Move it up. Move it up again.
Move it up again? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
Move it up, move it down. You want to make sure that the stab trim actually moves along with the stabilator. Okay? Which is nice. Rear nav light. And you have the rudder as well. Again, just make sure it's attached. And you're looking at all the little nuts and bolts, trying to make sure that it's all connected properly. On the bottom side, you can see all the hinges. Over here, hinges as well. Just to make sure that everything is functioning the way it should. And nothing looks fishy, and nothing looks like it's going to fall apart on you as you're flying. Coming around this side, we're kind of doing the same thing we did on that side, but an opposite side. Another static port for the aircraft. Moving along the side here, making sure everything is just, normal. Taking a look at all these rivets here, got a lot of pop rivets. Flap is fine. Aileron again. Now here's a nice little spot. You can take a look at what I'm looking at here, what I'm talking about as far as control surfaces and rivets go. You see this is nicely greased. They got grease on it here. You got the push rod down there, and I got grease on my finger, which is, you know, it's gonna happen. Don't be afraid to get dirty for safety. Come on the bottom here. You can definitely see that push rod's nice. Pure.
Can't see that. Hold on.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, the flap is blocking you, so you can come over here, and you can see that the push rod there, they just recently greased it, which is nice. You can check it down all the way here, check the flap hinges, and you're gonna check all the way up in here to make sure that everything looks mighty fine. Now, this kind of detailed, full detailed deep pre-flight I only do when I pick it up. After that, I do normal pre-flights like you guys are all used to. But again, this is an airplane that I've never flown before, or actually seen before, let's put it that way, it's a better way to say it. So I'm being very, very cautious on my first ever pre-flight of this airplane. On the side here, yeah, checking the leading edge. The fuel, top off, so I know that it matches what the fuel gauges say. Come around to the wheel again. Now, one thing I didn't mention, and I did check this on the other wheel, but I didn't mention it, was you're also checking the brakes discs and the brake pads themselves, so that you know that your brakes are actually going to work when you need them. It would suck if you can't get stopped. Right in the back there, you can see the brake pads on the brake. And over here, again, like I said, fuel sump. Take a look again. Clear blue liquid, and wonderful. All right. Now, there's one more sump on this, and this one is, quite frankly, the mystery sump. This one can either be great or it can suck. The lowest point, it's the gascolator, and because of its location, it can get really greasy. And if it's too greasy, it'll get a little grit in it, and the actual sump won't close and it'll start dumping fuel. A lot of people skip this, but again, it is a strange aircraft. You're not familiar with it. You got to check it at least once. There you go, it closed. What we got in here is grade A fresh avgas. Gotta love it. And last but not least, this brought us back around to the engine compartment. In here, we have the oil cap. When you open these things, you see how it's all worn around, like metallic around here? That's because people just open it, right? Put your finger here, push the button, and you know, slowly raise it, otherwise it's going to whack and chip off all the paint. In here we got the oil dipstick. See, it spins. Open it up, take a look at the oil. We got here 8 quarts of oil, which is exactly what the POH says we should have. That's done. Close it, and that is our aircraft. One last look around, make sure that you didn't miss anything, you didn't leave anything. For example, take a look on the ground right there. I'm not sure if you could see it. My cell phone fell out when I was checking the sump. This is why you do one last look around, so you don't forget anything. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. First of a couple of instructional videos for the ferrypilot.com. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a share. Thanks for watching.